Hello, I'm Julian VanDrunen.
And I'm Casey Whisler. Welcome to TalkNado. Here on the show today, we have Miss Harsy here to talk to us about TED Talks. We have Don Hill, a representative from CatNap, and then we have Chris Borzym here to talk about his flower shop.
Later on in the show, we'll be doing RB at the Movies, where we show you trailers of upcoming films and give you our opinions on them. But first, in the studio, we have Mr. Weishaar. Mr. Weishaar, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me on the show.
So when did you first learn how to use a 3D printer?
About 2 years ago, when I started this position, actually. They just recently started coming out with them, and they've been intensely growing in the population. They're starting to become a user where multiple people are starting to see them in the households. They're not just for industry standards. So the classes that we were able to bring them into were the draft CAD class, and then we are now incorporating them into our engineering program as well. So.
Wow. And what other areas of, just school life or even home life can you incorporate a 3D printer, do you think?
These days, people are finding everything to print. They're trying to solve, problems of the future with them. They're illegally making things. They're pretty much printing anything, solving issues. Most recent thing that I heard, a camera tripod, the part on the tripod broke off, and instead of going out and purchasing a new one, a student and his father actually re-engineered it and then printed that out.
Yeah, definitely.
And now the camera sits on the tripod and there's no issues.
So what does your position entail?
So I am the industrial tech teacher here, and I teach several classes, and draft CAD being one of them. And it's really just a beginner level course of how to use AutoCAD and draft CAD. And then what we do is we pull in, for years people have been able to do technical drawings and draw this type of stuff out and just see it in a two-dimensional form. And now we're able to take that, create a three-dimensional image of it, and then actually send it to the printers. So now what used to be just visual on a screen or on a board is now becoming 3D. You can actually hold it, touch it.
Nice. So could you tell us a little bit about the examples you brought today?
Yeah, these are all student-made. Well, actually, except this. This came with the program, which is bracelets. So,
nice.
Bracelet for you.
Oh,
bracelet for you.
A souvenir.
Hopefully it fits.
Oh, they stretch.
And they stretch.
The
Yeah.
stretch is cool.
But no, everything here is all student-made, and it's really just coming up with the idea and then actually making it on the computer program itself. So for instance, in my draft CAD class, I simply basically give them a format of, we're going to make keychains, and what your keychain is going to look like will determine on what do you want it to say, what do you want it to look like. So I just give them a little basis, and then they go to town and they're able to create kind of whatever they want. I just had somebody print theirs, and it had a Zelda,
Triforce.
Yeah,
So
insignia on it. So
is there a difference in programming when it comes to making something like the cone or the big circular ornament?
Yeah, the program is the same. It's just the concept behind designing it. So I had a student that wanted to try to make a iPhone 4 case last year, which is, we're talking, we're on iPhone 6 now. So, but anyway, what she did is she went online, she found all of the dimensions to the iPhone 4 itself, and then pretty much reverse engineered and figured out how to make the case itself. So here was the case. I had a student that wanted to make something intricate, and I guess you can consider this a basket of some sort. You need a little fruit, but
for grapes and such.
Yeah, for grapes and blueberries. A student wanted to work with trying to the double helix. I don't know. Came up with this idea and was able to print that. And then recently, because of the holidays, I proposed that we try to make holiday ornaments. And this was not made in my class. This was made the year before I got here, but it was printed. It was about a 16.5 on what your ornament looks like. It's kind of cool because now it's something you can make, design, make, and then take home.
Nice. That's so interesting. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
welcome back to TalkNado. We have Don Hill here today, and who is this furry friend?
This is Emmett,
Emmett.
and he's got just a fantastic story.
Oh,
so
tell
is that
us.
where you want to start?
Sure, that sounds
Sure.
great.
Fantastic. We found this guy as a 6-7-week-old kitten, somebody's backyard. He's tooling around, which is really weird because usually they hang around their mothers in the litter. We grabbed him, we took him, put him to foster until he was old enough to get neutered, because we do that so there aren't 8 gazillion cats in the universe. And then what we did was, I can just put him in my lap. Come here, sweetie. Then we adopted him out as a single kitten. We usually don't do that because kittens need to socialize. But he was such a precocious cat. We adopted him out, and he came back in 48 hours because he was sneezing, and the folks got freaked out. It's like, okay, we'll do it. So we brought him back. He was a very social cat, so he helped us socialize other cats. Imagine a less than a 1-year-old cat going and being a protector and helping other cats. And what he did, amazing. We had 2 tripod cats. That's a cat with just 3 legs. He went and taught these 2 cats how to climb a cat tree.
Wow.
We have a hard time doing this. Oh, he was amazing.
He's a
and then the
hero.
final thing, I know I'm rambling on, but this is great. We need animal-assisted therapy cats. We take cats to nursing homes and the VA hospital. This guy was perfect. He went, put a harness on, he goes and interacts with folks in the day room. He climbs up on hospital beds, and we taught him not to knock the IVs out. He did. He's really good. And all of this, and he's only a 1.5 years.
Wow.
So that's like a 20-year-old. So we kind of made him a resident cat. We have some cats that need insulin injections and really aren't adoptable, but we take care of them in the shelter. But we decided we didn't want to get selfish. So what we're going to do, happy ending to the story. In January, we've picked out a family where he can go and live with a really family because
Wow.
he's done his service.
I'm sure you could help them too, yeah.
And that's his story.
Wow, that's
Such
great.
a sociable cat deserves to be with a loving family.
Of course.
And so he's a 1.5 years?
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
pretty big. How big is he, weight-wise?
About 12 pounds. No, roughly 12 pounds,
Wow. Cool.
yeah.
So, does he have a daily routine here at CatNap?
At CatNap, what pretty much his daily routine versus other ones is that he comes out of his cage very early, and we actually work him with younger cats, with shyer cats, and he actually runs the floor and is kind of our greeter cat. He's our ambassador cat. And, you know, all the cats are running around, and he's just, he does that. He's a little weirded out today because they were doing work in the shelter.
Oh.
And with a circular saw. And the noise just hinked all the cats out, and he went and hid. So that's why he's quieter than usual. And people go, wow, why do cats not like vacuum cleaners and stuff? Cats can hear a field mouse walking around at 30 yards.
Wow.
Imagine what a circular saw or a vacuum cleaner does. So.
At 5 feet away, that would imagine
Exactly.
pretty loud. So is there anything special that he can do other than being a very good greeter?
He's a very good greeter. He socializes cats. He can go into a VA hospital and meet with people. But cats can do a lot of things. It's amazing. People think you can't train cats. You can actually, with clicker therapy, you do a click and a treat. What you can do is, most cats, if you have the patience, you have to have a lot of patience. They're not like dogs.
Definitely.
You can take most cats to sit on command,
Oh.
give you a high five.
Wow.
And the most important one that we try to teach to all folks is that you can use a click and a treat to get them to go into a carrier. So you don't spend an hour trying to find them when it's time to go to the vet.
So you can teach an old cat new tricks.
And even a young cat, absolutely.
And so for anyone interested in adopting someone as special as Emmett or any other animal, how would they do such a thing?
What you do is go to our website catnapfromtheheart.org. You can Google us, find us, and the process is pretty simple. You come in and you fill out a very short form, and what we do is we ask questions about what your family's like, and we really fit the personality of the family with the cat. And that's the whole story. And it can be quick as, gee, you'll go out the same day, or we'll come back tomorrow or wait on it, but there's really not a rush. So we're not trying to push these cats on. It's more about getting a good fit for them.
Nice.
Definitely.
Well, thanks so much for bringing him on the show today.
You got it. Thanks for having us back.
No
It's
problem.
been great having you and Emmett. We'll have to go to a quick commercial, but we'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome back to TalkNado. Here on the show right now, we have Miss Harsy. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, so happy to be here.
Great. So could you tell us a little bit about TED Ed?
Absolutely. So TED Talks, that's technology, entertainment, and design. They have started in the last several years, they've started TED Ed. So they take the videos of the TED Talks, or they take lesson plans that teachers submit online and they animate them, and it's to use the TED Talks within the classroom. And then last year they piloted a program called TED Ed Innovative Educators, and teachers from around the world applied, and 25 teachers from around the world were selected, and I was lucky enough to be one of the 25.
Wow.
And in November, early November, there was a TED Youth Conference in New York, and they flew us all out there to New York, and they put us up in a hotel, and we got to meet some of the TED speakers that were there, and just get to meet the other TED Ed innovative educators.
Wow.
And yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, so what are some of the benefits of having TED Ed in our school systems?
Oh, that's great. So it's free. So that's
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's a huge thing. It's an online free source. Also, it's mostly teacher driven, and the person that Logan Smalley that started TED Ed, he was a teacher himself for many, many years. So it's really inspired by someone that was within the classroom and now has transitioned into thinking maybe a little bit more globally about lesson planning for teachers.
Yeah.
But it's meant to sort of synthesize ideas from teachers, film and video, and make it exciting and accessible to people all around the world.
Yeah, so are do these like pertain to every like school subject, or is it just universal?
That's a great question. Yes. Yeah. So they have, if you go on their website, TED Ed, you can see that there's different, you can go by subject, you can go by minutes as well. So let's say, in fact, in the last class we had a vocab test, and we had about 7 minutes left at the end of class, and Friday didn't want to start a brand new lesson, and so we went on and we went by how many minutes left in the class, and then we picked one that as a class we all liked, and then at the end of the lesson there's the video, and then there's questions that go along with the video that you can discuss right on the spot. So it's all set up for you as a teacher. It's again, it's high quality video, high quality questions, but it's free, and the website runs really smoothly, so it's just really easy to use. Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. So you said you were selected out of like lots of teachers. How did you like apply?
Last year I applied to go to the TED Active conference in Whisler, Canada for a week. And they had some discounted tickets, because TED is known for being an awesome conference to go to, but it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And they had a discounted rate for teachers. And the district was kind enough and supportive enough to let me go for that week. And so I went, and that was where I really connected with the TED Ed folks and got to meet people from around the world that were at this TED Active conference. So that's where I got started with it. And then from there now, the 25 other people now, really I would consider them to be friends, which is a great resource as a teacher to learn about education in other places in the world. There's a teacher that's from Argentina, there's teachers from Israel, there's teachers from the United States, strong representation from Canada.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so it's fantastic, because you really can see how how much we have here and how much around the world there is to be shared with one another. So
It's just like nice universal program.
yeah.
So do you have any advice for like teachers who think they want to get into this, or?
Absolutely. There's going to be the new class of TED Ed Innovative Educators will be, the application will be up and running, I believe, in the next month or so. And so it's open to anyone to apply, and I can't say enough about it. And I'd be happy to help any teacher that was interested. My email address is on the school's website, so anyone from other schools too could reach out to me, and I'd be happy to kind of help them through the process. So, yeah.
Do any other teachers use this kind of technology in their classrooms?
Yes, I would say throughout the building, actually, that there's teachers that use the TED Talks, kind of their original sort of format. And then I know also many other English teachers use TED Ed within the classroom as well. So I think it's really caught on just because, again, of the high quality and the user-friendliness of it also. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on
Yeah,
the show
thanks
today.
for
That's such an
having me.
interesting
All
process.
right.
All right. We will be right back after these short commercial breaks.
Hello and welcome back to TalkNado. We have Chris Borzym here to show us some arrangements he has. How you doing, Mr. Borzym?
Good, great. How are you?
So what do you have for us today?
I am going to be showing everybody how to make a bouquet out of using stuff from their yard.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
I shouldn't do that because I want you to come to my flower shop, but this is something that anyone can do anytime, and
sneak
especially
peek.
for the holidays. So,
Yeah.
Definitely. So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about your flower shop?
I opened it 10 years ago. We just celebrated 10 years. I've been in the industry since I was 14.
Wow.
That's 43 years. And it was a dream of mine to open it, and it worked. And 10 years later, I'm still going at it and loving
Wow.
it. It's right on Grand Boulevard, and
Nice.
it's awesome.
So what kind of other selections of flowers and plants do you have in your store?
I like to think outside the box when it comes to the floral industry. I don't like to do things right out of the book like an FTD kind of thing. I want my own personal touch to it. Whatever comes out of here and here ends up going out of the store.
Nice. That's a good
So-
idea.
And so, can you tell us, like, this time of year, do you have a lot of business with the holidays and such?
There, poinsettia plants and holiday centerpieces from Thanksgiving all the way to Christmas are huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people coming in all the time?
It's more phone business than it is in the store business, but at holiday time we got a lot of people coming in for giftware like ornaments and wreaths, artificial wreaths and things like that.
And do you think you could show us what you
Yeah,
have?
Yeah.
yeah. This is
check it out.
actually all stuff that I picked from our yard. My partner and I live in Forest Park, and we have a big yard, and we both like gardening, so this is what I brought with.
So someone could do this in their own backyard.
Yeah, yeah. This, I'm going to start with this. This is called white pine. And I'm going to use this as the base of the bouquet. I'm just going to, I don't want to hide my face, I guess. This will be the base for it. So I'm just going to hold it like this, like my hand is the vase. And then I'm going to add this, which is a plant called a yew. It's actually an evergreen, looks like Christmas tree.
Yeah.
You see these everywhere. I'm going to use this a base around the outside, give it a little thickness.
So what goes into selecting these kind of plants for like bouquets and other things?
I like going down to the markets myself and picking out the freshest stuff. We get a lot of flowers from Australia, New Zealand, Africa, Europe, Asia,
Wow.
and some from California, but I like using the more bizarre stuff.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of this shipped in?
Yeah, we get it from our wholesalers. They get it shipped in from around the world,
Wow.
and it's really cool. This is cedar, so I'm going to put this more on the outside too because it's sort of drapey.
Yeah.
Most people will need clippers or something. I'm just used to doing this with my hand.
It's a special skill, I'm sure.
After
You
doing it
you
for
get used to it, yeah.
after 43 years.
Right. These are curly willow branches. It's a willow tree. When these get mature enough, the branches grow all spirally, hence
Yeah.
the name curly willow. I'm just going to insert them in between the pine.
Nice. Just adding some color in there.
Yep, adding some color. And it's sort of a reddish brown, so it's sort of holiday-ish.
Very festive.
For more height and for some red, these are dried crab apples
There
off
we
a
go.
crabapple tree. If you just let them, they'll be like this throughout the winter, and the birds like to eat them. But it brings in a red berry look for the holiday.
Yeah. So do you offer this kind of thing in your store, or is this just something that you can do at your home?
You can do this at home. We make arrangements like this at the store too, but knowing the space that I had to work with
Yeah.
and that I couldn't stand and do this, I did bring something that anyone can do, because anyone can go out to their yard and pick stuff.
Yeah.
And
Even talk show hosts.
even talk show hosts, right? Even cheerleaders and whoever else
Students.
is out there. There's a cheerleader out there. This gold flower is actually sprayed. I sprayed it with some gold spray paint. It's called sedum. It's a succulent, but it grows wild all over Illinois. So I'm going to put that in for some gold for the holiday.
Yeah. So how would you place this in your house? Would it go inside or outside? Or?
Best outside, because the pine really doesn't need water. It'll last all winter. The sedum's already dried. You don't want the crab apples rotting inside. That
Yeah.
would be the main thing. And then you don't want, this is called maidenhair grass. It's a decorative grass. I sprayed it with a little white spray so it wouldn't shed as much. And use that for a little white.
Going from a bundle of sticks to this, it's
Yeah.
quite the transformation.
Really?
Yeah, it's a fun industry. It's creative. A lot of people don't know the bad side of it, which is like dealing with funerals. That's pretty tough. You have to have a good heart to get through that when a family comes in. These things are breaking.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to ask you to hold this,
All right.
if you would.
I will. Hopefully I can get it all.
This is just some burlap ribbon
Nice.
to tie it together.
Very holiday themed. Perfect.
Yep.
And here we have it.
And then I'll make a bow out of the larger piece.
Miss America, everyone.
There you go. You just need a tiara and a sash.
I'm sure we'll have someone on tech do that.
That would be funny.
Yes, of course. So in your store, you have stuff like this. You have arrangements. You have bouquets. What other kind of celebrations do you
Typically do.
Yeah, in your
Weddings
store?
are our biggest events. We do on an average of 40 to 60 weddings a year. All over the city. We've actually been all over the country. I've been to Dallas, Denver, Wisconsin, Indiana, a winery in Michigan.
Wow. You guys are in high demand.
Dallas, yeah, it's
With
pretty good.
With arrangements this beautiful, I can see why.
Yes, of course.
It is nice. If you look this way, you can see all the stuff in it. The gold, red,
Yeah,
white,
wow. There's so many
green.
aspects.
Yeah, and this is all stuff you can pick in your yard. You
Wow.
don't have to go out and buy it.
Well, thank you very much. It's been great having
You're
you on the
welcome.
show.
Thanks a lot, guys.
We're going to have to go to a quick commercial
Can I give a
break.
little shout out to Bella?
Sure.
Please do.
Hey, Bella.
We'll have to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after.
All right, thanks.
Welcome back to TalkNado. It's time now for RB at the Movies. Our first movie this evening is Spectre. Let's take a look.
Where are you going?
I won't be long. Mexico City. What were you doing there? I was taking some overdue holiday. Spectre.
The plot of this movie, a cryptic message from the past leads our hero James Bond to Mexico City and Rome, where he meets a beautiful widow of an infamous criminal. After infiltrating a secret meeting, 007 uncovers the existence of a sinister organization, Spectre. Rotten Tomatoes has given this movie a 64% out of 100, which I find pretty fair considering there's been a lot of James Bond movies. This will be the last film featuring Daniel Craig as James Bond.
The next movie we're going to be reviewing today is Mockingjay Part 2. Let's take a look.
Katniss Everdeen, a small-town girl from District 12 who survived the Hunger Games and turned a nation of slaves into an army.
Turn your weapons to the capital.
Game is coming to its end.
Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, rated PG-13. Buy your tickets now.
In Mockingjay Part 2, our hero Katniss Everdeen teams up with her closest friends, the fan favorites Peeta, Gale, and Finnick, for the ultimate mission. Together, they leave District 13 to liberate the citizens of Panem and assassinate President Snow, whose one goal is to destroy Katniss. Mockingjay Part 2 received a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this is the last film in the Hunger Games franchise. Thank you so much for watching TalkNado today. Once again, I'm Casey Whisler.
And I'm Julian VanDrunen, and we'll see you next time on TalkNado.
Come to the Shenanigans Show.